Welcome everyone to Exploring with Cindy and Dan, and today, as you can see, we are at the Tillamook Air Museum in Tillamook, Oregon. So we're going to be exploring the inside of this building. It's gigantic, as you can see. So come along with us. Join us. As we entered the museum, the first thing we encountered was the gift shop. The hours of operation of the museum in winter is from October to May, and they're open from Tuesday to Sunday from 10 to 4 and is closed on Mondays. And the summer hours from June to September, and they're open then from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The admission to the museum is $11 for adults, $9.50 for seniors, $7.50 for youth, and children from 2 to 6, and the military personnel is $3.50. This museum is self-guided, and tours are available for groups of at least 10, with at least 2 weeks in advance reservations. And parking is free. Service animals are permitted in the museum. The mission of this museum is to interpret, preserve, educate, and honor the history of the Naval Air Station and Hangar B, and all aspects of civil and military aviation. This hangar is Hangar B, and it's the largest free-span wooden building in the entire world. The story of the blimps is very fascinating. Blimps were not only cheaper to build and maintain, it required fewer people to operate and less hangar space. But in the mid-1930s, in the times of the American Declaration of Neutrality in the war in Europe, the blimps were not needed. However, German U-boats were extending their range, trying to stop the flow of military supplies from the U.S. reaching England. So the U-boats positioned themselves near American East Coast ports, waiting to intercept American convoys, and all without ever being seen. A blimp crew hovering over a couple hundred feet of water above the ocean could see the submarines from the air. So in June 1940, President Roosevelt approved the construction of 48 blimps. And December 7, 1941, Japan attacked the U.S. naval fleet at Pearl Harbor in the island of Oahu in Hawaii. So blimps were urgently needed in both sides of the United States, not only the West Coast, but also in the East Coast as well. Factories rushed to build more blimps, and engineers were looking for sites to allow a number of blimps to be built and find bases where the blimps could protect the U.S. around the country. Like, for example, bases in Massachusetts, New Jersey, North Carolina, Georgia and Florida, Louisiana and Texas. They were all starting to get built. 2 sites were selected in California, and one last site was selected in Tillamook, Oregon, and all 17 new huge blimp hangars were built. All 17 hangars were constructed from lumber from Oregon and Washington State. Tillamook was a natural location for several reasons. By coincidence, the area has been selected in early 1941 to receive a new 200-acre airport. So engineering plans and survey were completed for this site very fast. These long-range blimps can patrol the southern parts of Oregon to the northern parts of California, and also north of Oregon into Washington State. 2 of the 17 hangars were constructed in Tillamook. Each hangar has to be large enough to house 6 blimps, and the interior had to be completely clear of all roof support and other obstructions. The construction of the 2 hangars was rushed to completion. Hangar B was the first one to be built and was completed in August of 1943. The second hangar to be built was Hangar A, and it was completed approximately in 27 working days, but unfortunately it was destroyed by a fire in August of 1992. Amazingly, with the completion of both hangars, there were no serious injuries in the entire project. The hangar is 1,072 feet long and 295 feet wide, covering more than 7 acres. It stands 59 meters tall and each door weighs approximately 27 tons and are 121 feet tall. Stationed at Tillamook was 8 K-class airships. The K-ships, being blimps, were 252 feet long and approximately 80 feet high and filled with 425,000 cubic feet of helium. With a range of 2,000 miles and the ability to stay aloft for 3 days, they were well suited for coast patrol and convoy escort. The Naval Air Station in Tillamook was decommissioned in 1948, and since 1994, Hangar B has been home to the Tillamook Air Museum. This is the exhibit hall featuring rare wartime and aviation-themed artifacts, along with photos of the history of the Naval Air Station Tillamook. The airships that were stationed here are from the base during World War II. As I said at the beginning of this video, Hangar B is the largest free-span wooden building in the world, and this hangar is in the Guinness Book of World Records. It is over 21 stories high, over a fifth of the mile long, and a football field wide, and it has also been placed on the National Register of Historic Places in the U.S. The SB-2C Helldiver crash is a tragical local story of loss. This exhibit serves as a remembrance for the life lost in this crash, and it also tells the tale of a story of a mystery that went unsolved for over 5 decades. The Convair 880 is a museum of an aircraft at the dawn of the jet age. This marked the beginning of the Northeast Airlines. This is a commercial aircraft with a maximum speed of 650 miles per hour, and this aircraft museum was built in San Diego, California. The designation number of the Convair 880 is because 880 indicates that the aircraft could travel 880 feet per second. This aircraft includes a first set of passenger seating and gallery and a view into the cockpit and lavatory. This is the Thompson blimp. It's 82 feet long and 26 feet in diameter. It was built by James Thompson of Louisville, Kentucky, over a 9-year period. It's a non-rigid 2-passenger airship certified by the FAA. The first flight was in 1995, and by 1997 he donated it to the museum. Though quite large in size, this blimp cannot compare to a Navy blimp. The K-class blimp airship was nearly 70% longer than this blimp and had 1,500% more helium inside. This exhibit here features airplanes and cars. This airplane is a Boeing PT-17 Stearman. It is a 2-seat primary trainer with 1 pilot and 1 student, and its maximum speed is 124 miles per hour. There are more pilots who learn to fly in the Stearman PT-17 than any other aircraft in aviation history. This is a brown Starlight home built, marketed in a kit form. The package was complete with everything required to build the plane, with one exception, the trim color. This is a Cessna 180 Skywagon. It's a combination of transport, amphibian, float plane, and skyplane, and it speeds approximately 170 miles per hour. This is a Wind Rider gyroplane with a maximum speed of 115 miles per hour. It is a modern-day gyroplane that was developed by a Russian immigrant and engineer. This is a 3-seat U.S. Navy training helicopter, and its maximum speed is 105 miles an hour. It was developed by Cayman Aircraft after receiving a Navy contract for a training helicopter in 1950. This is a 3-seat attack bomber Douglas A-26C Invader aircraft with a maximum speed of 355 miles an hour. It's the only American combat aircraft to serve in World War II, Korea, and in the Vietnam War. This is a 4-seat light transport aircraft with a maximum speed of 127 miles an hour. It was a military variant of the Fairchild Model 24. This is a Eurocoupe 415C. It's a two-seat light aircraft with a maximum speed of 110 miles an hour, and it is a civilian monoplane. This is called the Back Jet Provost. This is a training aircraft with a maximum speed of 410 miles an hour, and is a British aircraft used once by the British Royal Air Force. They had a few different vehicles here, including a Dodge ambulance and a nice Studebaker. This here is what was called the helium room. We walked around the machinery used to move helium to and from the airships stationed at the Naval Air Station.
Inside this room is all the machinery and piping made it possible to move helium into and out of blimps during World War II. Without helium, blimps would not even be able to get off the ground. In front of you is a large motor that powered two compressors used to remove impure helium from the blimps. Once removed, this contaminated helium would be pumped into a massive 60-foot metal sphere, once located right outside this helium room's windows. At the same time, pure helium was released from buried storage tanks, traveling through a 12-inch metal pipe into the blimps.
This is a picture of the fire of Hangar A. And this is how Hangar A looks like outside. Thank you for taking the time to watch our videos. We appreciate it, and please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Thank you.